And welcome everyone, and we're back here at Singularity University's Global Summit here with Vincent Vuillard, the co-founder and director of at FutureWork Studio. Vincent, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Kevin, and thanks for having me today here. Exciting.
It is exciting. It's exciting times right now, and the future of work is what?
Well, it's a lot of things, but basically the way we see the future of work is giving individuals and companies a way to both optimize what they want to do.
Okay.
And so individuals on one side, being able to do what they're passionate about, meaningful work, and get paid, and companies optimize for productivity, for innovation, and for happiness.
Gotcha. So say I've got my social media, I'm analyzing all my data, and I create my own database. And now I'm an expert in this space, but I want to go do something more meaningful with my life. Say I want to go work for a nonprofit. How might your company help me out?
Well, so what we've created, we've started 7 months ago, me and Joe Fair, who's my co-founder as well. This platform basically, which brings together freelancers, employees, contractors on a common goal, which is solve problems, right? So not work hours or days, but solve problems. And so the way it will work for you would be, you would see projects coming up and you will apply for them, chat directly with the manager who's hiring for those projects, and then you will manage the time the way you want to manage. So for someone, for example, who wants to say, I need to pay my bills, so I need to work on things that I'm not really passionate about, but that pays my bill, that's 40% of my time. 20% I want to do something meaningful, so I'll pick projects that are actually linked to what I'm passionate about for the community, or other things. And then training is another thing that people want to do as well. So maybe I will spend 20-30% of my time training for another skills, so I can reduce the time I'm working on things that I don't really like, but still pay my bill.
Right, got it. And that makes a lot of sense in today's gig economy.
Completely.
Things like Uber, Lyft, I can go after my work, and it is different though. I don't want to drive a car around and deliver food, but maybe I want to do
that's
something.
The thing that Joe and I, when we sat down and co-founded this, we thought, we see a lot of people that are doing Uber, we see a lot of people that are doing Upwork and other things, but really, driving a car, delivering a pizza, surely people could do better than this. And especially when robots are going to drive cars, what are those people going to be doing? And so we want to offer an alternative that is different to what a machine can do. And that's why we're pushing on the highly skilled and future-oriented skills. So people are seeing the path to, I want to continuously work and never be unemployed, because there is always work for me with the skills I'm developing on the platform.
So these are more opportunities made for white-collar jobs.
Yes, there is more opportunity at the moment for white-collar, which is more traditional skills like HR, finance, sales, or future-oriented like data science, blockchain, and AI.
And so what are some of the conversations, we think of white collar and reaching emerging markets in this world, what are some of the conversations you are having with your co-founders, with other board members around how to develop, maybe some areas that might not have access to basic internet right now?
Yeah, so look, we're at the moment only in New Zealand and Australia. Okay. So most of the country, we're lucky, has internet. But the companies that we're talking to, often CEOs, CHROs, CTOs, they struggle with 2 or 3 things. One is, my people are not that productive, right? If you look at New Zealand, we're not that productive as a country, and there is that's a major issue. A second issue is also people are not that happy at work. And so when you dig down and ask, what is the problem? You're not happy to work for that company. You're like, no, I like the company, but sometimes the work I do is repetitive and I'm not needed 100% of the time. But I need 100% of the money.
Right.
And that's the issue. So how can you unpick this and say, we're going to train people to think in projects and tasks as opposed to hours? That's a massive shift for people who have been trained for the last 30 years in, I need someone for a period of time. So I need you, Kevin, for 5 days.
Right.
And you're like, why? Just tell me what I need to do, or let's figure out what I need to be doing, and then I'll manage my time. Because actually, one day I can work 15 hours, and the day after I might not work because there is nothing to do on Tuesday.
What do you think this is going to do to the education systems in the world when people are going to start understanding that they can learn basic skills and go have other opportunities without having to go do a 4-year education?
Well, I think it's complementary, right? So I think what we're going to see is not that people are not going to go to school. What we're going to see is people are not going to leave school, right? And so lifelong learning is something that a lot of people talk about. It's actually bringing that and allowing people to have the time to do this. So then people can say, hey, what do I actually want to do in the world? And Singular University is the best place to actually reflect back. And that's why I'm here, right? Reflecting back and say, what are we doing for the world, right? Where if you're all the time in an 8 to 5 job, you don't have time to think about it. Only on the weekends, and then you have your kids, and you can't really think about those problems. So if you start breaking that into tasks, then you have a potential to have 20, 30, 40% of the time where you can do other things and think about what are the skills I need to acquire to do those projects that I'm passionate about. And so I would see that as an increase in learning, not a decrease.
Vincent, this is going to put a lot of purpose back into the workforce.
That's right.
What's the purpose of FutureWork?
Well, our purpose is really to help organizations and companies thrive, right? Really reaching their potential, a potential of maximizing, output for companies and society more broadly, but also how individuals can really thrive within this changing world where everything is going at pace. I mean, I was listening to Peter just before for the keynote, and he was saying that basically in 5 years, the whole world will be connected in 5G.
Yeah.
I mean, that's massive. What is that going to be doing in terms of communities, in terms of how people think about the future is massive.
Let's talk about communities and what that's going to do. Now, say in 5 years, we're going to be all connected.
Yes.
But in my eyes, I feel like we're more disconnected now almost than ever in terms of being social with people, being glued to our phones, having communities in other parts of the world looking at the same entire thing. So a lot of objectivity, less subjectivity, less thought, less creativity, things like that. What are some of the conversations you're having with others when you're thinking about implementing new solutions and technology and how it advances?
Well, I think, those technologies, like if I look at the workplace, 5-10 years ago, there was maybe 1 or 2 things that people would use. Today, every week there is something new. So people would say, I'm using Skype. Now, finally, I got around using Skype. You're like, no, forget about Skype. It's Zoom.
Yeah.
And people are like, Zoom. Oh, is it different? You're like, no, it's simpler. It's simpler, but yet it's another thing, right? And then people would say, well, now I'm on, social media. I can talk to you. Like, no, we're slacking. We're on Slack.
Right.
This is how you use the channels and everything. And everyone, because the barrier to entry is very low, everyone wants to try this. And so what will happen is basically, I think more companies will try to do this and disrupt this industry. You'll have 2 or 3 players that will dominate, just like the Facebook and the Google in the future, that says, well, for work, those are the channels you use. And then really understanding how to use the channels to actually deliver value, which ultimately is what people want. And not value necessarily in terms of dollars, but value for what people actually want to do.
A lot of leaders start with a vision and end. When you're lying at home at night, what are you thinking about, and what's the vision for this company?
Well, I think I'm thinking a lot about this, obviously, and I'm sure so is my co-founder. But what I'm thinking about is how can we really, not dissociate work from, family and life, and how can we bring everything together for a more meaningful life, right? Where people can really start choosing, as opposed to being going into a model that was designed 60, 100 years ago of like a full-time job, right? How can people do this? And that doesn't mean only driving a car or delivering a pizza.
Right.
It needs to be different, and that's what we're committed to do.
Well, I'm looking forward to the future as well. Live here with Vincent Vuillard at the Global Summit here in San Francisco, California. Vincent, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you very much.